Have you ever walked into a room where everyone assumes you're confident, successful, capable, and you smile, nod, and show up like you belong, but inside there's a quiet voice whispering, "Don't mess this up. They're going to figure you out. You're not as qualified as they think." And the wild part is the more you grow, the louder that voice can get. So if that sounds familiar, this episode is for you. Hey dreamers, welcome back to your Dream Coach podcast. I'm Shayla Wey. I'm a small business coach, growth strategist, and believer that your dream life begins the moment you start leading with intention. This podcast is about leadership, fulfillment, and growth because building success without believing in yourself feels exhausting, and growth without inner confidence feels unsafe. And so today we're talking about something almost every high performer experiences, but few talk about openly. And that is imposter syndrome. Why even successful, accomplished leaders still wonder, do I really belong here? So let's dive in. And I felt like this matters so much for you listeners because it really is a big deal with creating, designing your dream life. Because imposter syndrome isn't just insecurity. It affects your leadership confidence, decision-making, pricing and income growth, your visibility and opportunities, and willingness to step into your next level. Psychologists Pauline Clance and Suzanne Ims first identified imposter syndrome in high-achieving individuals who believed their success was due to luck rather than competence. And what I have found coaching entrepreneurs and leaders is this: imposter syndrome doesn't disappear with success. It often increases with growth. Because every level introduces new unknowns, and your brain equates unfamiliar with unsafe. And so let's walk through what I have found makes the biggest difference. The first thing is growth creates the identity lag. Every time you grow, your external reality upgrades before your internal identity catches up. You land bigger clients, you lead larger teams, you increase your income, you step into new rooms, but internally, part of you still identifies as who you used to be. And this gap creates discomfort, not because you don't belong, but because you haven't integrated your new identity yet. And so James Clear talks in the book Atomic Habits about identity-based change. That lasting transformation happens when we see ourselves differently, not just behave differently. So confidence grows when you allow yourself to become the person that your growth requires. So when we think about our leadership, is identity alignment builds decisiveness. When it comes to fulfillment, you feel congruent instead of conflicted. And growth, we start to stop sabotaging expansion. Now, the second thing I've learned is that high performers set higher internal standards. So the people who experience imposter syndrome most are often the most competent because they see nuance. They see what they don't know, and they see how much there is to learn. So research connected to the Dunning-Kruger effect shows that highly skilled individuals often underestimate their competence, while less skilled individuals overestimate theirs. So your awareness isn't weakness, it's depth. And depth often comes with humility, which is powerful in leadership. The third thing is new levels require new skills, not proof that you don't belong. So when you step into a new level, you will feel inexperienced because you are not unqualified, just new. And there's a difference. So Carol Dweck's work in mindset explains that a growth mindset sees learning curves as progress, not proof of inadequacy. So when leaders interrupt discomfort as growth, they expand. And when they interpret discomfort as inadequacy, they retreat. So growth always feels unfamiliar before it feels natural. The fourth key thing is that comparison distorts reality. So we live in a world of curated confidence. You see polished leaders, confident speakers, successful entrepreneurs. But what you don't see is their doubt, their first failures, their shaky beginnings. And research from social psychology shows constant comparison increases anxiety, and decreases self-perception accuracy. So Theodore Roosevelt said, comparison is the thief of joy, but it also steals courage. Your journey is not supposed to look like someone else's. Now, number 5 is you mistake nerves for inadequacy. Your nervous system reacts to risk. Visibility feels risky. Leadership feels risky. Growth feels risky. And so your body interprets exposure as a potential threat. And so this creates physical sensations, maybe racing thoughts in your mind, even a tight chest, self-doubt. And performance psychologists and neuroscience research show these sensations are identical to excitement. Confidence isn't the absence of nerves. It's your willingness to move forward with them. Now, number 6 that I discovered is that you discount evidence of your competence. So many high performers dismiss their success with, I just got lucky, or it wasn't that big of a deal. Anyone could have done that. Meanwhile, they magnify mistakes. So this creates a distorted self-perception. One of the most powerful exercises I've seen work with clients is documenting evidence of competence, wins, transformations, hard decisions, challenges navigated. The brain responds to evidence. Confidence grows when facts replace emotional narratives. And number 7 is where leadership requires visible courage. Leadership is not about feeling ready. It's about showing up anyway. Brené Brown's research on vulnerability teaches that courage. It teaches that courage requires the willingness to be seen without guarantees. When you wait to feel confident, you delay growth. And when you lead while growing, confidence grows. So courage precedes confidence. Number 8 is belonging is built, not granted. Many people wait to feel chosen before they show up fully. But belonging isn't granted. It is created through participation. You belong because you show up. You belong because you contribute. And you belong because you care. So belonging grows through engagement, not permission. Number 9 is that your voice expands as you use it. Confidence isn't found. It is built through use. The more you share ideas, lead conversations, post content, coach others, the more natural it becomes. Avoidance strengthens fear, and action builds capacity. And number 10 is that your next level requires self-trust. At the core of imposter syndrome is not a lack of skill. It's a lack of self-trust. Self-trust grows when you keep promises to yourself, take courageous action, survive discomfort, continue showing up. And psychological resilience research shows confidence is built through evidence of surviving challenge, not avoiding it. Self-trust transforms doubt into resilience, and resilience sustains long-term success. So how does this support your dream life? Well, when you move beyond imposter syndrome, you lead with clarity, you step into opportunities, you charge what you're worth, you start to speak with authority, and you pursue bigger dreams. This is where leadership, fulfillment, and growth intersect. And this is how dream lives are built. So here are some practical shifts that you can start today. If this resonated, I want you to start here. I want you to, number 1, name the feeling when doubt appears. What is the feeling around that? Second is to document evidence of your competence. Write down all the things that you have already done to empower yourself and create that evidence that you are a competent person. Third is to stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for things to be perfect. And then I want you to take one visible, courageous action. Just do one today. And then I want you to speak to yourself like your client would, right? Speak to yourself like you would a client. So as you're leading and guiding and managing your staff or future clients, speak to yourself like that, right? What would you say to you, right? If the roles were reversed. Those small shifts create massive internal change. And so here's my invitation to you. If you're ready to grow as a leader and fully step into the life and business that you're meant to build, I want to invite you to join the LFG Business Academy on Skool. It's completely free. Inside, you're going to find tools and trainings and support designed to help leaders like you grow through leadership, fulfillment, and growth. And you can also have access to the free mini leadership series, and it will strengthen your leadership foundation and really step confidently into your next level. And you can find that link in the show notes. If today's episode resonated, share it with someone who needs the reminder that they belong in the room. Because confidence isn't required before growth. It's created through it. And your dream life isn't waiting for you to feel ready. It's waiting for you to believe you belong. And so thank you for being here today. Remember that your dream life starts with the way that you lead, the way that you live, and the way that you grow. I'll see you next time on Your Dream Coach podcast.